Yo!
Yayo Talk Show!
Dreamin'!
Don't give it up, Molly.
Dreamin'!
Don't give it up, Marco.
Dreamin'!
Don't give it up, Katie.
Dreamin'!
Al's name didn't fit. They talk about the show, this group of four friends been going for 1,000,000 years, there's no end. Watching every arc and saga, no sleep. It's the king of anime, 1,000 episodes deep.
Yayo! 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 Talk show!
Talking about One Piece.
It's the name of the podcast.
We're not on Vine. Yayo Talk Show. Talking about
One Piece.
What's up, witches, privateers, and non-binary buccaneers? Welcome aboard the most chaotic One Piece podcast on the Grand Line Internet. Let's introduce you to the crew. First, the captain of the crew, no pirates, no longer drowning, Molly D. Simpy.
Help, girl. Help me.
Wild theorist, Kaden Jensen.
Hey, I'm using a different setup, so hopefully I sound good.
Oh, you sound amazing. Give yourself more credit.
I'm using the Stellar X2 instead of the Neumann this time, so yeah.
Neumann.
Neumann is...
That means, nothing,
Yoy,
that means
moy.
nothing to nobody. So
well, no, you just... Kaden, you haven't reached the Neumann arc yet. Also, the Laughborg, Al McClelland.
It's me, also here.
There he is.
There's that silence I'm so used to.
And I'm
There
the
he
internet's
is.
gentleman, Mark B. Donica. The B, of course, stands for Bonesman. Welcome aboard, everybody. We're back talking
Oh?
about... What? Welcome a bone? No,
You remember
no.
Do you remember the thing? Remember the thing we were talking about before we recorded, and I just said a word, and it got really quiet. I almost said the B stands for booty, and was just gonna leave it.
I mean, that's not what you said, though.
I mean,
That was not what you said.
I know it's not what I said, but I'm telling you what could have just happened.
But then it did though.
Yes, cut that, censor that.
Wow, we got a case of the Mondays here, everybody.
Yes.
Thanks.
And that's what we're going to come back in on. Thank you, Kaden. Yeah, it's been
I hate that.
a hell of a couple of weeks for us here at Straw Hat. What? Nope. At Yayo's Chrono Pirates HQ. What the hell? I'm yeah, use take two. Thank you.
From
Censor that.
Nintendo LLC.
Hold on,
Wait.
let me lead you in one more time. We got a case of the Mondays, everybody.
Oh, I'm leaving all of this in. But it's been such a busy week
Literally
here at
trying to help you, and you just
Yes.
decide to throw me
you
to the
absolutely
Yeah.
helped me, but it's much funnier to leave me messing up in. But here at Yayo HQ, we've been back on our streaming game. We're back recording certain episodes, just not on the days that we usually do it, which is why we're coming at you with that aforementioned Monday energy. But speaking of streams, does anybody want to talk about like how we've been blowing up the Twitch scene lately? Molly, we streamed for your birthday the other day.
My birthday. Yeah.
Which, if nobody knew, that means you weren't there, and I guess that means how dare you?
For shame.
No,
That
they all
means-
signed the
that means-
card.
Yeah, you
They'll
need to say
remember. They'll be
belated
like,
happy birthday to Molly.
I mean, you don't have to, but it.
Yeah, you
would
do.
be- I mean,
No, you have
Remember
to.
pass
Yeah.
around the card.
yeah.
Much like every arc and saga. Now that you've listened to the intro, you have to tell Molly happy birthday.
You know what? That's another thing. Everybody
Oh no.
stick around through the outro. We can see retention. The last time I yelled at you for not sticking around through the intro, our retention went up, and I appreciate that. Thank you to those who listened through the intro. We worked very hard on changing it just minutely every single episode, and we're very happy to those that listen and find out what that new extra little addition is. And we do the same in the outro, so we would really appreciate it if you listened all the way. Don't drop off. Even
Hey.
you know what? If you have to, scroll the bar all the way to the end. Whatever. But don't just drop off.
Hey, listeners! Since it was my birthday, and you missed it apparently, to make it up to me, can you guys stick around till the very end of the episode this time around?
We'll make it with your
Hear how
while.
we mess
Please?
up all of our social info every time.
Oh, do you want me to leave that in this time?
Hey, you know what? There's something else that they could do too. Isn't that right, Mark?
Oh, that's right. You can head over to iTunes or Apple Podcasts, however you listen to us, and leave us a review. Specifically, Apple Podcasts, we haven't had a new review since August. as of this recording, and that's not great. And we know that our listenership has gone up. And so if you're listening to us, or if you're not and you have an Apple Podcast account, we would really appreciate it if you left us a review there, a written review. One, we'll read it on air, and two, we're thinking about doing a giveaway of some sort. What exactly are we going to give away? We're not at liberty to say just yet. Do we have anything in mind? Probably.
I'll never tell.
I'll never tell.
I'll never tells.
I'll never tell.
It's like Dead Men Tell No Tales, but it's
Yeah.
Al. Oh God, I have to make that now. But please,
Censor that.
anywhere where you listen to podcasts, please leave us a review because it'll help more people join our crew. But specifically, please go to iTunes or Apple Podcasts and do it. Thank you so much. We've had a lot of response on some of the other platforms that we do it on, but iTunes needs a little love. So thank you so much for listening. Before we get into the main guts of this episode, I'm almost afraid to ask, Caden, where are you in One Piece?
I'm dead in the water right now.
Where are you mentally?
There's no wind in my sails or anything
How
like
are
that.
you doing?
How am I doing? I'm tired.
It's Monday.
tired. I'm
Somebody
really
has
tired.
the Mondays.
It's February.
It is February.
It's February. Don't worry. Trust me. Everybody will know exactly the moment I start like really picking up speed and making my way to the
Making
treasure at the
my
end of the
way.
Grand Line, because you're going to start seeing Mark, Allen, Molly have a little bit of panic.
Sweat.
Because
Mhm.
once I start hitting the ground running and reading, that's it. Game over.
mean-
I'm there.
Like, let's air some laundry real quick. I think we need to come up with checkpoints of chapters where we should have Kaden like watch the show so that she can see or hear certain things, and then that way it's kind of like checkpoints for us too to be like, okay, she's hit here, she's hit there.
Yeah.
You know what's a great idea? You know what's a great idea?
What?
For our lovely pirates out there listening to this,
What?
why don't you tweet at the Yayo Talk Show Twitter account and suggest some good moments for me? Don't tag me in it. Because
Actually-
spoilers, obviously.
I would say tag the episode number, not the moment.
Ooh, there you
Because
go.
then if it does come across, then you see, oh, this episode might be something good, and then we can confirm that and be like, yeah, this person was right. They're usually right. We have really good response on our Twitter. Thanks everybody who does that.
Thanks.
But
thanks.
I think that that's a great idea. If the audience would like to submit episode numbers and not episode titles, then that could be something where nobody gets spoiled and we can
Yeah.
look forward to it.
May I for a minute?
No.
Absolutely.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Captain trumps me, so
there was something that did come up on TikTok a while ago, and we were all laughing about it. We never actually talked about it. It was the meme of just like, I wonder what's going to happen in the next episode of this anime, and then this is like, it literally describes everything that happens in the next episode of the anime, and that was like a meme on TikTok for a while. But every single comment on those TikToks is like, yeah, that's just One Piece. Like, other anime don't really do it that well, like as far as like telling you exactly what you're going to say. It's like, I wonder what Luffy's going to eat next episode. Luffy eats a sandwich. It's like, oh, wow. Oh, the next episode of One Piece, Luffy eats a sandwich. One Piece will literally tell you the seventh member is Nico Robin. Is the perfect example.
What?
It's
I
like,
wonder who it's gonna be.
hey,
Yeah,
I wonder who
that-
the next
the worst. And that's where one of the things of like reading the chapters share names with the episodes most of the time. And like as I'm reading, I'm like, whatever, I'm looking at the cover art and then I'm just going through, and then when I'm like watching people review it or whatever, just like in the discussion, people are like, yeah, the title gave away so much, and I was like, oh, you look at that. Anyway, moving on. I just gotta read.
Just
There's
a little
two
a little
things I've
note.
learned.
A
Go
little
for it.
note for all of us, just real quick. If we're gonna do this, we have to very quickly check the opener for Kaden and make sure there isn't any certain spoilers in the opener before she gets to watch the episode.
Well, if
That
she's
is
gonna
also
read it,
true.
yeah, I suppose so.
I'm just even before the episode that says
we-
Nico Robin joins the crew. Nico Robin was in the opener.
It's true.
Mm-hmm.
She was one of the main antagonists for that
Yeah,
arc, though, so.
and then it's like in the opening, it's like there she is eating Cheetos with Luffy. What's up with that?
Yeah, why are they hanging around? Okay.
By the way,
So before we let this episode completely get away from us,
Too late.
Mark, what are we doing today?
So usually we travel across the timeline in a linear fashion, but for this, as you could probably assume and put together from the title, we're going to be skipping past
You look at those?
No. We're,
Much like One Piece. We're spoiling
no,
what happens.
much like our listeners, I skip right through it. But so instead of picking right up where we left off with like our recaps and discussions, we're going to skip a little bit ahead to what the Straw Hat crew was doing during the quote unquote the break. In the wake of the Paramount War, a Marine ship carrying Luffy, Jinbei, and Rayleigh returned to Marineford to pay their respects to all of the lives lost. And after making one loop around the island, they stormed the plaza so that Luffy could ring the Ox Bell 16 times, 8 marking some sort of end, and 8 marking some sort of beginning, and leaving flowers. Now, while the world pondered the meaning of all of that, the media was there taking pictures, all sorts of things. There was a message hidden in that act directly for the Straw Hat crew. And that was Luffy's tattoo on the side of his arm was 3D 2Y with the 3D crossed out. At the end of or in the middle of their attack, which is still thinking back to it, is just sad, all sad. Luffy was like, we're going to meet back here in 3 days. So he crossed out 3 days and said 2 years. We're going to meet back up in 2 years. Now, amongst this time, the crew decides to, wherever they have landed, decides to spend their time improving themselves in some way. And so with that, we're going to go in amongst us, a highly contested order of when the different members of the Straw Hats.
I'm right.
I think my Luffy rule, I think, is Trump's.
I'm going to put up a poll. I'm going to put up a poll while we're recording.
But see, here's the problem. If you use the Luffy rule, then they all joined at the exact same moment because he has no concept of time.
or
the
spatial
same
relationship.
moment. I mean, he's aware that he met Zoro before he met Nami.
Is he? Are you sure?
Yes.
Zoro is. I don't know if Luffy necessarily remembers that.
Luffy deserves a little bit of credit. He deserves a little bit of credit, and I will give him this nugget.
He will remember when he ate last, but he does not remember.
Kaden, I'm just gonna say this. There's a very specific thing that happens, and like you're gonna get there probably tomorrow if you read tonight, but it's like there's something that happens later on, and like Luffy very specifically remembers when that crew member joined the crew. So I'm gonna give him this nugget.
Chicken nugget?
Flips table.
We doing nuggies?
Chiggy nuggies?
I want to get a Frosty so bad.
All right, pause here. Go get a chicken sandwich.
Is that for us or for the listeners?
Yes.
Our retention dips as people get into the car.
No, listen to us when you get in the car.
Sponsored us for chicken sandwiches specifically.
Ooh, can we get a Chicken Sando sponsor? That'd be great.
Ooh, my favorite brand.
If I just keep talking about Wendy's, we might get sponsored. Hey, Wendy's,
nice.
I tried your Frosty cereal. It's bomb as hell. Loved it.
Snap it to a
More,
Wendy's.
please.
Just take that nugget of sound from your recording and just put that on Twitch or put that on Twitter.
Kaden
At Wendy.
Wendy.
Started talking about sandwiches earlier, and I just haven't been the same since. I really want a sandwich now.
Yeah,
That's the Luffy energy. But let's get into this.
So let's re-rail.
So in starting with the order of when the Straw Hat crew joined the Straw Hat crew, we would begin with Zoro. Al, could you tell us about where Zoro landed?
I mean, I want to start first by asking, what are 2 things we know about Zoro?
Swords and
green
nap time.
Okay, so
Booze.
3 things we know about Zoro. He likes
He's
swords.
bad at directions.
Okay, 4 things we know about Zoro. He likes swords. He likes nap time. He's bad with directions, and he shops at Hot Topic.
There you go.
The
Or maybe
4
that's
golden
just what-
rule.
Maybe that's just what Kuma assumes, because that's where Zoro ends up. Who else in the One Piece universe also shops at Hot Topic?
Hold on.
That's a loaded question, but Caden got the answer right.
Everybody on Thriller Bark.
Yeah.
So this island is called Kuraigana. We end up finding current greatest swordsman in the world, Mr. Hippity Bippity, I'll cut your Shippity, Dracula Mihawk. Wait,
Did you write that down?
I did.
I was like, oh, this is really going to get him later.
It's a callback. And then former commander of the Wild Zombies and Surprise Zombies, Perona.
Hey.
And also a army of baboons with swords called the Humandrills.
Those guys.
So good.
They're terrifying. They're all assorted sizes. They can imitate Zoro's 3-sword style just by looking at it, and they give Zoro a run for his money in a knockdown, drag-out fight. He ends up defeating them. They run off, and he gets found by Perona, who helps him heal, and Zoro begs Mihawk to teach him some sword skills. This time, because he wants to be stronger for Luffy and his Nakama, not for himself to become the greatest swordsman. Character growth.
The like worst part of this whole thing is this island that Mihawk rolled up to and was like, "Yes, my brand." It's just
oh no, my boat.
It's just like from like what I remember, isn't this island just like it's basically a Dracula mansion ripoff,
Yes.
isn't it? Yeah.
Yes, it
You're
is
saying
exactly
that Dracula Mihawk is on a Dracula island?
I'm telling you. Oh wait.
Did you just have an awakening?
I forgot what his first name was.
Oh
Dracula.
my
Al just
god.
said it. Al
I
literally
mean-
said it seconds ago.
Maybe that's what happened. I had
Molly
an epiphany.
looking up from her sandwich makes a terrifying realization.
What?
Are you saying
Dracula
Mihawk is Mr. Castlevania?
Al was talking, and
What
my
is
brain
Al?
was like,
Why
"I've
isn't he playing in
connected
this
it."
game?
Yeah, why isn't he?
Y'all should watch our last Molly's birthday stream. It's very good.
Oh, it's so good.
But it was like I like connected the dots. You didn't connect shit. I connected them.
I connected
Like,
them.
Oh, okay.
Anyway,
Good
I'm
job,
on. Listen, Al, I'm taking notes. I'm listening. Keep going.
So Mr. Mihawk is like, damn, this kid's got moxie.
Mr. Mihawk.
And yeah, bro.
Yeah, bro, we're all about manners here.
When we finally meet Zoro again, he's definitely more badass looking, in part because he has a nasty scar across one eye that everybody gets to say, hey, I'm badass. And to this day, we still don't know if he's deciding to go all Popeye just because, or if he's got a Sharingan under there. It's a mystery.
Oh. Mystery.
But
That's a different
learn some
anime.
I mean,
Or is
Zoro
it?
has really bad sense of direction, so it could happen.
He got lost in another anime for a couple years.
Nani? Konoha?
One of the things I think of all of the Straw Hat like excursions, I think this was one of the ones that had the most guts connected to the world at large. It wasn't necessarily just like, oh, we like when I talk about Brooks, Jesus, Jiminy Christmas. But Zoro's was like, here are 2 old antagonists, including one that has a direct connection to Zoro, and the scene of Zoro like putting himself at the feet of Mihawk, being like, make me stronger. I have to be stronger, but not for you. Like, yeah, I'll beat you whenever, but I need to be stronger for my captain. And you are the strongest. Like, we still don't even really know what
Teach me, Sensei, I hate you.
enemies and then lovers. But
Uh-oh.
it was, there is a lot, like, I would be very interested to like see a couple of more scenes from these 2 years between those two.
Yeah, entirely.
Yeah.
Especially because I don't know, there's just like a lot of energy there that I'm just like, what do you mean Mihawk just let these two kids live in his giant mansion island and like be edgelord and like every day kick Zoro's ass and then be like, cool, lunch is at 1 or whatever, and then goes inside.
All three corners of the McDonald's triangle on one island.
I will say there's a lot of really good fan art out there of like Mihawk having dad energy because of Zoro and Perona, and also like drunk aunt energy because he's always drinking wine in these in these scenes. And so it's like I can only imagine it's like every day he kicks Zoro's ass and then just pours a really big glass of wine.
What I need is the intro to Castlevania Symphony of the Night with Richter going up the stairs, but it's actually Zoro, and he finally gets to the thing, and Mihawk's just there with a glass of wine.
But instead of what is a man, he asks, "Where's the bathroom?" I got lost in this goddamn castle again.
He goes, "This is in Shippity." My God.
I mean, these little interludes are so short, and it's nice to like move on with the story and like, okay, cool, we know what they're up to now. Let's get to them meeting up again. But now that we're like years removed from it, I definitely want to go back now. Al, is there anything more you wanted to talk about with Hot Topic Castle?
I mean, I think the coolest part about the time skip is how it gives all this room for the reveals in like the post time skip One Piece world. It's just like, oh yeah, this happened during that, so now they can do this. It's like all of these things get revealed. So without revealing any of those things, I'm just saying they learned some cool shit, man.
Now, according to our poll that has been up for 10 minutes.
Wait, I didn't vote.
100% of the voters say that Nami joined the crew after Zoro.
Bullshit.
So,
well, I mean, technically, yes, that's true.
How many votes were there?
That's technically true.
That's none of your business. Technically,
Okay.
so we did get one response.
No, it's
not just me. I don't have that many alt accounts, but we did get a response from Slashy that said technically after Zoro. However, her heart really joined after Sanji. But
Thank you.
So both is the answer, but in order for the sake of like splitting this up properly enough, I think it's time to talk about what Nami was up to.
Nami.
All right, so Mark, get your sensor ready. Technically, you. She joined after Sanji.
I like how it's like technically she joined after Zoro, but she got on the healthcare after Sanji.
Listen, until you get the pirate benefits package, you did not join the crew. Okay?
But she was getting paid, so
she was getting paid, but she was a contract. She wasn't full time.
It counts.
Employee number 3.
It counts, but you don't get full benefits. You don't get the full insurance. You get the bullshit insurance. This doesn't cover anything. Anywho,
probationary period.
welcome to Nami time. Nami time involves Nami getting blasted all the way to a bunch of clouds in the sky with a bunch of old dudes on it with wizard hats. It's basically like versions of like Gandalf going around on
Welcome to Gandalf Island.
This is
Merlin too.
Yeah, the main one is Merlin, kind of.
This is honestly my favorite out of everybody where they ended up, and not just because it's old guys.
Oh, really? Are you sure?
Yes.
Are you sure? Because it's all just old men. It is just
allegedly.
No, it is just old men. I
Did you meet everyone, Kaden? You meet every single person?
I met the entire island.
The
entire island. And it was just a bunch of old men and then Nami.
No,
okay.
So Molly's asking for different reasons.
Do you want numbers? I can give you numbers, Molly.
I gotta know. I mean, what are we looking at population wise?
Molly's got to score these digits.
It's just like about 150.
Give me the phone.
Men.
Can I have the phone book, please? The entire phone book. Thank you.
Coordinates to the island.
So this was some major payoff for Nami. So Nami has landed on this place called Weatheria because One Piece decides to be incredibly on brand with every single thing. It's like, welcome to this place. It's named exactly what you think it is. Is
Also,
it an
we're
island
there.
that's just a giant piece of pie? Welcome to Giant Pie Island.
Whoa.
That's exactly what it is.
Giant
So-
Pyland.
Exactly. There it is.
Oh,
That's
God,
the
yeah.
English translation.
So Nami's whole buildup is she got her climatect and all that, which was from Usopp, and it's kind of become her staple at this point. And she started messing around with some of the functions, like, oh look, it's a water gun, and this one has bubbles and stuff like that. But now she has landed on this island of weather wizards. Not to be confused with the weather wizards from what was it? Santa Claus is coming to town. Yeah, we'll go with that one.
The third Santa Claus movie?
No. That's the escape clause.
Oh.
Why do I know that?
I don't know.
Why do I know that off the top of my head?
All of
It's a
that
reference
Tim
we all
Allen's
know.
filmography.
Just a movie we've all seen.
With
Caden's a big Martin Short fan.
Anyway, she immediately meets this old dude, and he's just like, check this out. And he pulls on a piece of string, and then like a big fart comes out, and she's like, interesting. I wonder if I could use that with this. And that's basically her entire arc is, welcome to this island of old men who happen to know a lot about the weather. And she's like, I can use this. And there's
Well, Kaden, they didn't say OC do not steal, so
they didn't, but she also gets I don't want to say weather balls, but they're weather balls. That's what they are.
magic
The
balls.
ordeal continues.
They're literally,
Except Al didn't say it this time.
Al, can you say it for me, please?
Balls.
Thank you.
I hate it.
Much appreciated. Much appreciated. But Nami's whole arc here is pretty much just like, Nami decides, all right, I need to become cooler and I need to become useful in a fight. So I'm going to, while I may not be able to be a tank or a fighter, I can sure as shit be a mage. And that's what she ends up becoming here.
I just really love like the whole energy of this whole thing. It's like these guys live on an island, specifically like a cloud island, because their tools are so powerful that it's like, it's like they got to separate themselves from everybody below them, so to whatever. But it's just like the one person that like gets introduced to this new ecosystem is Nami, and it's a constant of like, I didn't mean to steal. I'm sorry. And she's crying. And they're like, whoa, she's crying. Hey, man. Like, what do you... And it's like, we open
you just did that.
Open the cage, man. Let her go. Let her go. And it's like, they keep constantly getting duped. But then, like, they keep also, like, being able to, like, very quickly shut her down. You know what I mean? Like, she gets caught pretty quick.
Yeah, of course, but like I mean, there's the obvious reason of just like these guys are very aware of the world around them, and they're very like conscious of that stuff. But they're also like very eccentric and stuff like that. And they're also a bunch of old men, so this is definitely Tamale's team.
Shut up. I don't know. There's something really fun about the island. It's like a lot of these places that the crew goes to. I'm like, I would have really loved to have gotten like a little bit more. I know it's like very like, it's like an excuse. We don't need to see it. Two years past, they're stronger. And like, here's the reason why they're strong. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of like a DBZ time chamber type thing. But I think like some of the characters he came up with to explain how they get stronger are interesting enough that like, like what we said for Zoro, like I would like to see just like a little bit. Like, I just want to see like a little bit.
I mean, there's stuff that still hasn't paid off from this, like,
Yeah.
this bit.
Spoilers.
Guess what? One Piece isn't done yet, Kaden.
Yeah, we're gonna be doing that a lot.
Wait,
We're gonna get to the One Piece, and then Nami's gonna be like, yes, this brings me back to when I was on Weather Pia or whatever, and then and then we're gonna see a little bit of like what she was up to, and then be like, yeah, anyway, the One Piece.
Slightly
Everybody
lower
needs a
than Sky
caster.
Pia, Weather
Let
Pia.
me check the Weather Pia article about this.
and of course Cloud Pia underneath that.
Weather Pia feet. Anyway,
European?
like Wiki feet.
No.
I'm gonna isolate that like
Nope.
wiki feet.
Don't don't censor that. Censor that.
It'll just be a long censor bar.
No, it's gonna be a long censor bar. Feet.
Like feet.
No.
Like in a similar vein of wanting to know. Caden, I'm sorry. Caden, did you have anything else you wanted to say about Witheria and Nami and the weather wizards?
Weatherpia.
There's some stuff that happens here, but like you don't really get to see it until later. Like like, I'll be honest, like the big wow moment for this entire thing was the fart knot where he just pulls it apart and it blows. It's like, wow, when you untie the knot, a giant gust of fart comes in. It's like, there it is. And that, like, they don't show much until everybody comes back together. But I can tell you that Nami did not waste 2 years in this place learning nothing. This whole thing is like this whole like let's go see what the other Straw Hats are doing. It's like, here's where they get their Super Saiyan level. So this is where they go from regular Saiyan to Super Saiyan. You don't get to see the full thing. Just like you don't get to see Vegeta actually do the training. You just cut to him on the moon and he gets really sad and then, Super Saiyan.
Just imagine what Goku did, but then put Vegeta in his place.
Yeah, just imagine that, but with Nami.
Everybody should put Vegeta in his place.
Dude, no, best husband, best father.
Yeah.
Best.
Yeah, put him in his place as the
Piccolo
top.
is the best DBZ dad.
All right. He's you know what, Caden, he's right.
No,
For
see,
the
thing is
memes.
Piccolo is the best dad overall in DBZ. Vegeta's
Daddy?
best father. There is a difference.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought she was going to say daddy too, but father
Me
makes
too.
more sense.
Yeah, sorry. He does have a mustache.
Sorry,
Yeah, he does
Daddy?
have. And,
Sorry,
and the
Daddy?
pink
Sorry,
t-shirt says
father?
dad on it.
Sorry. Apologies, father? Apologies, father.
Father. Yes, father.
What were we talking about?
What are we talking?
We were talking about all the daddies on Witheria. No, you know what? Speaking of daddies, let's talk about Hercules.
More like was there, am I right?
Okay, but you're right though. There is a daddy coming up.
Yeah, Heracles is the daddy. Let's talk about Bowen Island. So Usopp lands on this giant island that's filled with tons of greenery, and my favorite thing is I identify with it so much, not necessarily just like I'm a loudmouth and I need people to listen to me, but the idea where
Right.
it's sort of like a message of, oh, I'm really lonely. Like I'm trying to, the reason I engage so much is so that I can get the engagement back. And this all of a sudden became a psychological deep dive for me. But Usopp instantly missing his crew and just not having anybody to talk to, feels like he's on an abandoned island, and everything starts to try to kill him.
Mm-hmm.
There's he gets chased by a giant roach, and
Mood.
right, which is also
Been there,
which is
done
killed
that.
instantly by a as I put in my notes, a Hercules beetle man named Heracles. Beetleman,
Heracles.
exactly.
Beetleman.
Heraclesan. And through the guidance of Heracles, discovers that the island is almost exclusively crawling with man-eating plants. And anything that isn't a man-eating plant is like an already prepared food stuff. Like there is a waterfall that's like a completely prepared bowl of ramen. There's like all sort of any delicacy or trash food or whatever that you could possibly want. And that seems like peak, like I get to eat my troubles away and not have to worry about these man-eating plants because I'm going to be in my own place. But Heracles just keeps like, dude, you don't want to do that. And the reveal of the island slowly closing in on itself to eat everything, and the how would Mercer put it? The gaping maw of Bowen Island. And all of a sudden Usopp gets scared again, as per usual. But it's this, he gets this realization of seeing the paper, seeing the message, seeing all of this hurt that Luffy went through, and being like, I thought Luffy would be able to become king of the pirates without me. And now I know, and now I know that I need to be there for my friend, and I can't just return the way that I am. And so he starts running off all of the weight that he did. But also the most one of the most important things that he learned about were that there are these small seeds called pop greens that the island is teeming with, and Heracles ends up becoming a sensei to him and teaching him the ins and outs of the island, all this different greenery. And I think it's a really cool way of Usopp recontextualizing his fear as a motivator to get stronger. It's like, if this is the like the bottom line of the Grand Line or of the New World, I need to get stronger. And he has this self-realization that is very relatable. And he's rededicated to becoming the best sniper in the world. And he just wants to become a better person. I was a real big fan of this arc for multiple reasons. Heracles is one of the greatest side characters that I want to know everything about and know that I never will.
Yeah, he's honestly a character that I hope we see again at some point, just because so many times Usopp is like, Luffy and Chopper would lose their shit if they met. Like, this guy is the coolest guy ever, like, because he's like a Hercules beetle and he's like epic, but it's like only he can appreciate. Yeah, only Usopp has the ability to appreciate him at the moment, because it's just the two of them.
Just the two of them. That's
Heracles and Usopp, and
I'm pleasing for that pleasing.
I love. I'll be honest. That was so endearing. It was like a little thing that he'd do. It's like, I'm Heracles, and Usopp, and you need. It's like, I don't know why that particular like thing he did was so fun and so funny.
But also think about like the other side of it, of like, this man has been alone on this island for how long, and he finally has somebody to talk to.
It's just, he's. I would like an entire anime about that dude. Like,
absolutely,
I would 100% watch that. It's like, whatever that dude's up to, I don't care. I want to see this guy's adventures. It's like, even
the world waits to see what Oda does after One Piece, and it's like, you know what?
Which spin-off will it be?
It's going to be Heracles.
I hope so.
Heracles is so much.
It's just Heracles *N, and that's the entire thing. It's like what is it? 6,000 episodes in 400 movies. That's it. We're in for it. Let's go.
It's one of my favorite things that the show did was they did a great payoff of the rule of threes of the introduction. I'm Heracles, and then he does it one more time, and Usopp's like, yeah, whatever. And then right before the very end of, like, they cut him off saying, and of course I'm Heracles, and it just, to be continued.
Yes.
Beautiful.
And then like the beginning of Oda's next thing is like the end of that, and it's like you see Inzen. It's immediately
it's the Heraclesan for the season.
God, no.
I wasn't ready for that one. I wasn't.
At least nobody was taking. Hold on, wait.
No, that's not fair that you have that button that does that.
I give more to other people than to myself. I can't even hear it in my ears.
Zero.
Wait, I can do it.
We'll come back.
Wait, I can do it. Ready?
Go ahead. Everybody needs a button.
All right.
Or a nuttin', if you will. But I'm so like, yeah, this was one of my favorite, like, just from a pure entertainment standpoint, and nothing less to be expected from Usopp. But after this, who joined the crew after Usopp? Sanji.
Nobody.
I'll take the bullet. I'll do.
No, don't take the bullet. Take the shot.
Take the shot.
God.
Thank you.
You guys are too funny today.
I'm not going back to jail.
Oh, I'm gonna go back to jail. Oh man, yeah. So everyone's least favorite straw hat. Why are you booing me? I'm right. Sanji gets arguably the worst straw hat got launched to the best place.
Okay, I'll give you that.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, we check in on Sanji, what this stupid guy's up to, and due to I think the play on words for this with Kuma is that he got yeeted to an island that has the maiden's heart. Everyone on this island has the heart of a maiden, which it's really like be careful what you wish for, I guess, situationally. You got to really read, you got to be very specific in the things that you want from the genie.
And the genie's beans.
Yeah, Sanji is on this island called Momo Iro? Shit, Momo. I know Momo.
Come on.
You
got it.
Iro. Momo Iro. Momo Iro. Yeah? Okay, great. Okay, you sound like I'm not. I did it right.
You know what, Molly? I decided I wasn't going to correct you today.
But you did.
I didn't say anything. I was just like, man, continue.
Okay, that's fine. But yeah, but it's basically the Bakar.
I'm not here to correct you, Molly.
Anyway, we know that Sanji basically gets put on everyone's favorite two characters we just met, Ivankov and Inazuma's island. And the residents of let's just be real. We'll say it once. We don't need to have a whole discussion about it. This whole thing is very problematic. We've had a previous conversation about Sanji's like a transphobe, very problematic character. This whole island, again, another very problematic bit that Oda does because Sanji only likes quote unquote women, and to him, trans women aren't the same. And this whole bit basically is just really digging that grave deeper.
And this is why we break his legs.
Yeah, and so I don't really want to talk about that. I don't really want to talk about Sanji. I do want to talk about Ivankov, and I do want to talk about Inazuma. So I'm gonna.
Inazuma! Creamsicle!
Yeah. So basically, the longer that...
Dreamsicle Inazuma.
Oh, I love them so much. They're so cool.
Goblet in hand.
Oh, see, that's what I'm talking about, though. That is the Mihawk wine ant energy that I'm just like for. I'm all about it. Like, these guys just broke out of jail, and they're just like, cool, we're home now. Who's this little bitch? And just like already had wine. Like, they took the wine glass off the cruise ship, and they're like, huh. Great.
Yeah.
But yeah,
nice
basically
sound effect. That was really well done.
Basically, when Ivankov gets back to the island and he meets Sanji has read in the newspaper that Luffy fought side by side with him. And he's like, you say you're part of the Straw Hats, but, I'm quizzing you here, and it's not, things aren't, like, lining up.
You seem like you suck.
Yeah, basically, they're like, I don't know, you suck entirely. I don't know why Luffy would have you on his crew. But basically, like, during the quizzing, he, like, won't agree that his wanted poster is actually him. So Ivankov's like, you're telling me this isn't you, but it is you. I can't believe you. What if you're a government spy? You have fucking government energy, you fucking bitch. And
deserved.
Yeah, exactly. And
absolutely.
It's a situation where Sanji sees the new newspaper, realizes there's going to be a bit of delay getting back to Shippity, and decides, even though apparently this is like the worst place in the Grand Line or like anywhere in this fucking One Piece planet for Sanji to be, like, he's gonna really suck it up and get stronger here. And Ivankov is just like, I don't owe you shit, and I'm not gonna give you shit, like, fuck you. But while he's there, he realizes that Iva has this like attack cuisine that's like a specialty in enhancing properties from this island. And it's just like someone mentions cooking in front of Sanji and his interest gets piqued.
Well, they were sitting down at dinner and they were arguing over the newspaper, and Sanji takes a bite and has like a food wars moment of like, what is this flavor?
Man, talk about an anime I hate. Anyway,
talking about problematic.
Talking about another problematic cook. Anyway, but no. So he sees the value in that and makes he's got to be like, hey, give me the recipe. Is this your grandma's cannoli recipe? Give it to me. Even though it's like a family-only recipe, Sanjay, you can't just do that. And I was just like, no, I'm good. I owe you nothing, and we're feeding you, so why don't you shut the fuck up? Like, what more do you want? And so basically a challenge is issued. Aiba says that since Sanji refuses to learn the new Kama Kenpo, which is, God damn it, Sanji. He basically has to travel around the island and defeat 99 masters of the new Kama Kenpo because he can't be taught it. So now he has to learn how to fight against it, apparently, to learn it. Like, and each time he beats one, he basically can claim one of the other 99 attack cuisine recipes. So, and then it's kind of like, also, if you do this, I'll give you a ship. Like, and if you lose, basically, like, quote unquote, he won't keep his manhood is another problematic issue. But that is where we leave Sanji. And even Ivankov, we couldn't leave him there for long because even Ivankov didn't want him, and I get that. But yeah, it was cool to see like I mean, listen, Ina, Zuma, and Iva make the best of a bad situation. They were literally in like EBDB for I don't even know how long they were there for, a couple years. Yeah, it could be decades. And they're just like, yeah, whatever. We were in jail. We have a tiki bar. What do you want from us?
They built the tiki bar, right? Like,
yeah. And like, listen, they do great. But it's just like, it's so cool to see that they have like a whole island, like in a kingdom that it's just like, man, they really took that bullet to be in EBDB that entire time when they could have been here the entire time.
That sounds right.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
I'm nodding.
Okay, great. I could hear you nodding, Al.
Great.
Yeah, the implications of getting an interaction from a Straw Hat crew member, the wrong one, and Aiba-sama was something that was welcome, and like in the sense of connecting more of the Straw Hats to like the Revolutionary Army or any of the other opposition forces that we know are in this world. This gave me sort of like an unwarranted hope that Sanji's actually going to come to terms with who he is as a human being and not being garbage. I have a hope that
realize that toxic masculinity is a social construct.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Like I have a hope that his final move, like his ultimate moves, are going to be Nukama Kenpo.
He gets an actual character arc.
Exactly. Like that. I'm still hopeful for that to this day.
Holding on strong.
One day it'll happen. Oda announces final arc. Damn it. It's not going to be in there.
What if that's the One Piece? Is that
Sanji's fragile masculinity?
Sanji opens the treasure chest containing the One Piece, and it's just a person with a baseball bat and breaks his leg. Like,
oh, please?
Oda. Please? Oda. Sorry.
Oda? Sorry. Sensei?
Oda.
Sorry.
I like how we all did it too.
Who's next?
As we present him our updated script idea.
Who's next?
OC don't steal.
Yeah.
After Sanji joining, we go all the way to the Drum again. Kingdom, and so we let's what's Chopper up to, Captain?
Chopper? I would love to talk about Chopper. I was like, I'm done. Did Sanji? I could take a break.
I'm surprised you talked about Sanji that much.
Well, I didn't mean to talk about Sanji. I wanted to talk about it's also like needs to be addressed. It's problematic, but it's like
dreamsicle, you know.
Inazuma. Anyway.
Inazuma is a dreamsicle. Love them very much.
Stand them. Yeah, Chopper's hanging out on Torino Kingdom in the South Blue. You know, Torino. You know, like not to be confused with pizza
gestures
rolls.
in Italian.
Not to be
Tostino's Island.
Yeah, not to be confused.
Is that what rumble balls are?
Oh my god. Okay, but like the best analogy of a rumble ball for me, because I get fucking I go into beast mode when I have pizza rolls.
No.
Beasta mode. Anyway,
oh my god.
Chopper.
Please continue, please.
Face palming so hard.
No, I can hear you nod, Al.
Oh, right.
Okay, good.
Al
No,
can't
well,
save you now.
he can. We can try.
Sorry, my finger slipped. Sorry.
Sorry.
Really? All right, fine.
Yeah, so when we catch up with Chopper, we see him running for his life because these natives on the island where Chopper lands wants to eat him because he's
Tanuki.
Native meat.
could be a deer, who knows, but edible probably. He has a hat, it's fine. And it gets to a
Probably made of fondant.
situation.
That's edible, right?
Yeah, it gets to a situation where like he gets away because the locals then start fighting with these giant birds on the island. And sometimes when you're just like you come to a situation and you go, "Hey, sorry. None of my business, but I think you guys are miscommunicating here." And since like Chopper can talk to animals, he basically just like is like, "Sorry, I'm listening to the conversation. You guys are fighting over nothing." And he translates for the birds so that they're like, "Oh, wait. You guys have been cool the whole time?" And it's like, "You guys have been cool?"
birds.
I'm Chopper. I speak for the bird.
He basically is just like, "Ooh, awkward. You guys are saying the exact same thing, but you're mad at each other for some reason." And out of all of the Straw Hats, like Chopper was the one that probably would have gotten to Luffy first. Like he settled that situation so quick, and they're like, "Whoa, cool, thank you." And so like
Bandito.
yeah, he was like flying off already to like go see Luffy, and then intercepted the newspaper on the way there. And was like, "Oh, okay," and like reverses in like with Bird and goes back and is like, "Well, I guess there's medicine here. There's medicine I've never seen before. I'll learn."
I mean, he's pre-med. He solves puzzles fast.
Yeah, he was he was like, "Well, I guess I guess I'll do the rest of my residency here." Yeah, not much going on with Chopper. That was it.
He's just
Medical
out there
school island.
being a little good lad, an absolute lad of it.
Being like even closer to achieving his life's goal of curing every disease. That's super cute.
Yeah, it's so cute. My favorite.
Only the cute diseases.
The uwu diseases.
Speaking of cute diseases, let's talk about Robin.
Uh-oh, hottie alert.
Hottie alert.
Hey, I just want to say this.
Hottie with the fractal body.
I really want to bring something up about my taste in particular individuals named Robin. They tend to get arrested a lot.
What's up with that?
You take a look at Robin Hood. Robin Hood gets arrested a lot. You take a look at Robin Hill. She definitely got arrested. And you know what? You know what happens to Nico Robin? You know what happens to Nico Robin?
She goes to Starbucks.
Gosh, I wish. No, she gets arrested and she gets put in prison on a place called Tequila Wolf. Adding additional insult to injury, yes, this Robin also imprisoned in a frozen wasteland under military command. Fun.
Oh,
You're noticing a trend happening to people I like. I don't like that.
What's up with that?
So, welcome to Tequila Wolf. Nico Robin is immediately. You don't want to be here. He doesn't want to be here. Nobody wants to be here. In fact, there's a lot of prisoners who are being used for free labor. It's what they're calling it. It's free. The labor is free. We give you a house and it's free. These military people suck. AMAB. All right. We're talking AMAB, baby. AMAB. It sucks here. They're building a bridge. It's been under construction for 700 years.
Bridge to nowhere.
What?
Yeah,
Bridge to nowhere.
They're just building a bridge. It's like, we're gonna build this giant bridge, and that's all really Tequila Wolf is. It's just giant bridge built by slave labor. And Nico Robin ends up here, and as with any Robin, any good Robin at least, she stages a military coup and takes over and
As one does.
dethrones the assholes
She had
in
time.
charge.
She had time.
And she ends up freeing everyone and kicking the Marines out because that's what a Robin does. That's a good Robin. A good Robin does that stuff. That's really about it for Robin. Again, much like Nami, very straightforward. Robin doesn't go through an arc of like, oh, I need to figure out who I am. Robin's just like, I showed up knowing exactly what I was going to do the moment I saw these assholes here.
Well, Kaden, I think like at the end of her thing, she meets some people, doesn't she?
Well, does
she talkie with some people?
Yeah.
And
What the hell?
She talkie.
You're just really just skipping a bit here, or
Am I
reconnects with the Revolutionary Army, right?
a little bit, just a little bit.
What do you mean a little bit? You didn't even talk about it at all. I find that so interesting. Maybe I should have talked about Robin.
I mean, the thing is, it's like
shots fired.
Do you? God, you don't appreciate her like I do.
Here's the thing. Here's the problem.
What's
she
up?
plans to go and she does. She plans to go and meet some of the revolutionaries, and she plans to go meet Dragon. Not a dragon, but monkey.
I mean, we don't know.
D-Dragon.
Not a dragon. The dragon.
Or D-Dragon. Or C-Dragon.
But Mr. D-Dragon.
But at the same time, it's like, I don't really. I hate the dragon's okay. He's all right, I guess.
I mean, yeah, but it's also like somebody we know is gonna talk.
One woman military coup is much more.
He's standing there.
In terms of plot,
he's just a dude. What is he gonna do? I don't know.
Okay.
What was? I don't remember what that's from. It's like, was it The Simpsons? I think it was that Simpsons. Like, I'm just waiting. I'm just got my eyes on that one dude. I'm just waiting for him to see what he's gonna do. I don't know what he's gonna do. I gotta not take his eyes off. I gotta not take my eyes off of him. The moment he looks away, he looks back. It's like, oh, I missed it. It's like, as far as I'm concerned, Dragon is D tier. Not monkey D tier.
I mean,
it isn't his name.
yes. I mean,
Oh
yes,
my
but
God.
also, and whatever, it's fine. I'll remember this.
It was just like, listen.
Molly in the corner of your screen, it says Molly will remember this.
Molly, I hope you do remember this. This is the one time where I was just like, oh, look, it's a whatever older gentleman on screen. All right, I'm sure Molly's very excited. Hooray.
No, I'm not.
Type. Molly's writing in her journal.
Dear diary, you cannot believe what Kane said to me.
Oh my
today.
God.
That was super intense.
That was incredible. No, but it is kind of like it is an interesting moment in time because she
Molly,
actually
mute your mic when you're typing that furiously.
Calm down, Molly.
What do you mean?
We can hear everything.
Yeah.
I can't.
So the real
I'll never tell.
So we can totally hear it, Molly.
Yes,
No.
we can.
You guys can hear it?
Molly, I have to mute so much of your typing in every episode.
No, I just say censor that, and and it just happens.
Yeah, exactly. I have to do that.
It's not
You push
automated.
You push the button, much like if I pushed the mute button, you wouldn't have to hear.
Thank you.
Oh, God.
So let me TLDR it. Robin doesn't actually stay in Tequila Wolf for the time skip. Robin's only there for a little bit of time. She handles the whole Tequila Wolf situation pretty quickly. And then she spends the rest of her time in the time skip hanging out with the revolutionaries and is learning all of this stuff about them. We don't really get to see any of it, so it's not particularly interesting because we don't get to see any of it. We really don't get
They'll
to.
never tell.
So unless later on there's a flashback to where we get to see more of it, but we don't actually get to see it. We just okay, cool, thanks.
Unless.
But the thing is, it's like
No.
that's
I'll
why
never
it's
tell.
such a nothing moment for me. It's such a nothing moment for me at
Fair.
the end of it is because we don't get to see that. It's much more important that Robin is. For me, this was a whole thing of like solidifying Robin's character entirely, which is she had this whole moment, and this is her she's put into the situation she's been put into regularly where she can just leave. She could just go. She can free herself and get the hell out, and everybody else is going to suffer for it. But this was her, it's like now it's Robin as a straw hat pirate, and Robin's just like, no, I'm gonna do what Luffy would do and beat the shit out of these Marines and free everyone, and then I guess meet his dad. But we don't get the payoff for it isn't like her getting to meet his dad. It's her like arc coming to kind of like her personal arc coming to a conclusion there, which is she has grown beyond her own previous trauma, and now she is most assuredly a straw hat. And that's kind of like the whole
beautiful
thing. That's how I viewed that. And then Molly's just like, but dragon. It's like, yes,
no.
Yep.
Well, I think it's a similar thing of like some of the other straw hats that come into contact with people that we already know exist. It's like Nami learns something very important on Witheria and something that she's going to carry on as the navigator, but it's not like she learned it from who's a ref. It's not like she learned it from Miss Father's Day. Like, no. Here, so it's the thing of like these lines starting to cross and these people starting to connect, and like Robin now has ostensibly a direct connection to the Revolutionary Army. Sanji has a direct line to the Revolutionary Army. Anybody else? I don't think so.
Sanji does, no, here's the thing. Sanji does not have a direct line to the Revolutionary Army. Nobody likes him.
That's fair. That's fair.
Hey, Revolutionary Army. It's me, Sanji. I need. Hello?
Who are you?
Hello?
I still want that recipe.
Hello?
Could I borrow a cup of sugar for...
Yeah, it's like Zoro's connection to old foes, like strengthened and I'm thinking. Yeah.
Well,
it's the couple of things that just make so like we came in with certain stories with preconceived notions of, oh, we know those people, and so that was sort of the beginning of a payoff. But when it comes to Nami, Usopp, Chopper, Brooke, and technically Frankie, we had stuff where, oh, this is all completely new. When is this going to either reconnect, or when are we going to be able to, by knowing all of this information or knowing where this place is, when will this connection come through? And I think that's what a lot of these, or that's what half of these, I guess, that's what we're waiting for those payoffs for. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yes.
Makes sense to me.
Can't you hear Al nodding?
Absolutely. That's a good point.
Actually,
I have to turn that up every episode as opposed to turning down.
You turn my keyboard down. You turn Al's nodding
have
up.
like a fiddle to go.
Oh no, I miss Nomad again. Let's talk about Al. Let's talk about one of your namesakes. Let's talk about Frankie. His story was pretty dense.
Yeah. So I'm going to start by asking another question. What are the things we know about Frankie?
Bones, music,
Colabot,
Speedo,
hat.
He's a
Hawaiian
cyborg.
shirt.
Tea.
He's cola powered.
Yeah, Colabot.
And he's an engineer, which I guess Kuma knew somehow. And at this point in the story, have we heard of any other engineers in the world of One Piece?
I mean, other than people directly associated with him?
The Vegaman.
Only in passing, just that Vegapunk guy.
Vegapunkman.
So the definitely not punk rock.
Here's the thing. Can I interrupt for a second? I just hate to do this. I know you said Frankie. My brain heard Brooke, and I was just like Bones. I don't know if anybody heard
Boner.
Like,
Went from Bones to Boner.
I was just like
it's
next
French.
up is just like Bones hat.
Bones hat. Tea.
So close.
Now we're really.
Frankie?
But also,
Bones.
the moment here's the thing. The moment I said T, I'm just like, wait a minute. I'm talking about the wrong person, but also correct.
Mark and I's namesakes in the show. We're identical, I guess.
This is the equivalent of earlier in the episode when Al was talking, and I was like, I connected the dots, Dracula, and then this is Kate being like, wait, that's not Bonesman.
Al starts talking and he takes the brain cell with him. And is like,
Where'd it go?
He's trying to clone it.
please.
What about Frankie?
So he lands on an island. God. That was the former secret base of definitely not punk rock, government
Yeah.
chill, and morally questionable Dr. Vegapunk.
Mm-hmm.
Is he actually a doctor? Do we know if there are any schools for what Vegapunk does?
I mean-
it was Dr. Punk.
Doctor is his first name.
I've yet to see this man's medical license.
I
So
get the impression that doctor is just a title you give yourself in One Piece. It's like you decide that you're a doctor because
Are
Oh,
you-
yeah,
have you
like
seen-
Drum
have
Island.
You seen the medical schools there? They don't.
But I'm just-
you say one doctorate, please, and then you.
the
I'm
hospital
Cells
is like
very
next to
easily
your
done.
bed as you're dying.
But I'm thinking of like the 20-something doctors on Drum Island that are just scrubbed up and ready to go into surgery at a moment's notice. And that's like the only doctor other than Chopper and his crew that we know.
The cast of Scrubs on that island.
Mhm.
Oh, please? That's what the 8th movie should have been.
I just wasn't expecting such an earnest please.
Yeah, me either. Sorry, Al. We keep doing this to you.
Sorry,
No,
sorry.
this is what the Al segments are for. It's letting the chaos reign. But anyhow, Kuma yeeted Frankie to Karakuri Island. It has Vegapunk's giant secret laboratory. It's full of the means to learn how to make the tech that Vegapunk used to make Kuma into a pacifista. Which sounds pretty cool, right?
Mm.
Less fun. No, I don't.
Absolutely.
Frankie blew it up accidentally.
Hell
Doing
then-
God's work, that guy.
But then under that lab was the super secret lab, like with the good lasers.
God, that's so good.
And Frankie spends the next 2 years upgrading his gear and his body and ends up with big old shoulders and the box is full of stuffed forearms we know and love today. And 2 years on that island is
Just so matter of fact.
I mean, that's what happens. There's a lot of stuff like so. Let's consider this 2 years of Frankie on an island full of technology where he's reverse engineering everything. This is the guy who's cybernetically enhanced. He's a nerd, and he built a fleet of battleships when he was in middle school. So I'm pretty confident we still haven't seen 100% of what Frankie BF-37 can do, which stands
God,
for
I hope
Battle
so.
Frankie 37. Beefier, battlier, and almost 37 years old.
Can I say something that has stuck with me? That Al has said. From,
Absolutely.
Like
Beefier?
and
Should we-
like
Should we wait until the theory section?
No. This is something
I'm-
that's like
I
this
am
is something
sweating
that
right now.
no, this
Turn off the
has
sweating.
legitimately stuck with me ever since I heard Al say this. It
Oh,
has
God.
like resonated with me so much, and it has made me appreciate Frankie and a lot of other things in animation so much more. Is that
Mhm.
you know, it's like his existence before as a kid and then becoming the Frankie we meet and then becoming the Frankie that's after the time skip is such a like the evolution of like, you know, becoming this whole like animation, like the way he exists and the way his character like evolves as far as like the evolution of the artist, that whole thing, it like has every time I think about Frankie, I think about Al's moment talking about the evolution of the artist through Frankie, and I'm just like, awesome. This is a cool. This is like, it is.
I gotta
stuck with
say
me
too
so
that
firmly.
yeah, I was gonna say like that actually when you started talking about it specifically, like, yeah, actually I think about that all the time with Frankie, where he's just I that was such a good analysis, Al.
He's figuring out what he likes, and then he figures out how to make the things that he likes, and it's like that's how growing up as a creative person is you're
Yeah.
figuring out your tastes, you're trying to figure out how to be better at making the things that you like, and then eventually you end up exceeding your initial expectations when you were a wee bad.
Like I
Mhm.
said,
And inspiring the next generation.
that that statement, Al, has stuck with me ever since you said it. It's like every time I was like,
Sticky
what a great
statements.
observation. What a great observation. It's so
Don't say it
brilliant.
like
Did I ruin it? I'm sorry.
No. So I think we finally found a name for Al's segment, which is analysis.
Wow.
Careful where we put the hyphens in there.
An anal cis.
Oh no.
Anal is.
Uh-oh.
Why is anal is?
This is why.
Why?
This whole I love
Father.
I really love Frankie's section here though, because it's like again like another situation where I feel like we could get a lot of information about the world building.
That was
in
more
One
cool
Piece.
to me. That was more cool than Robin meeting freaking Luffy's
Okay.
dad. I don't care about like him finding the secret lab and everything like that and discovering all this. I was like, this is the stuff I want to know more about this.
But it being Frankie and it being like, whoa, look at these insane plans. Like this could this could help or hurt the world in many different ways.
What
and
if
being
I
like,
use it to make my arms bigger?
What if they'll get swole on these plants?
no, it's like verbatim. It's like, whoa, if anybody got a hold of these blueprints in like the wrong hit, and then like hard cuts to the explosion, and then like the little like motif of like Frankie smiling over the explosion.
The other thing that like was my favorite moment in those things is Frankie, that brief moment of Frankie being powered by tea because he was frozen. It's like, we need to get him something warm. There was no cola. They gave him warm tea, and then he became British. That whole little bit
God.
was so good. It was so good.
There's a gif that I see of Frankie very often that I think was from this section where he's dancing with like
Yeah, we use that on our Twitch stream.
yeah.
The thing is like I wanted to, like all that made me think of is like, what if it was orange juice? What if it was, it's like, what if it was like
What if it was
becomes
Kool-Aid,
Florida
Kaden?
what if it was Kool-Aid? What if it was sparkling water?
if it
instead of
was
soda? There's so much things. It's like, what happens if Frankie has these instead of cola?
There's been
This
a lot
bit
of
has
amazing
been done before.
There's a lot of amazing comedy in the show, but on Water 7 where Chopper doesn't know what's in the bottles and he keeps throwing them in and we see like that was one of those moments where you're like, oh, this guy needs to stick around. Absolutely 100%.
I want like more of that. I want more of those moments because that's where like
Frankie's the fun uncle.
It's both in the fact of like it's fun to play with in the animation style, but it's also fun to play with in the vocal performance of Frankie, both in the Japanese version and the English version. They go wild with it, and it's like that's the fun stuff. That's like the nougaty center in the chocolate candy. It's so fun.
Also, one of my favorite pieces from this little bit is that Frankie operates
one
mostly.
Of your favorite pieces?
Yeah, is mostly Frankie operates without a face.
Oh yeah, I don't. That was
He literally
spooky. I don't
burns
like
his
that.
face off.
No, I don't like that.
I don't like that.
But it's okay because apparently he'd already previously burnt his face off because he can't reach behind his head, only the front of him. So, but it was scary.
It do be like that sometimes.
It do. Speaking of scary, let's talk about the devil.
What?
Give yourself one of those. Give it the badum. Where is it?
Thank you.
Thank you.
I just said
Thank you. I appreciate that.
already edited. It sounds like you edited, but you did it with your voice.
Yeah, that's yep. A graceful bow on my end. This I forgot how stupid
Yeah,
and how silly they made a satanic cult be, where it's this island that has reached like we don't know what to do, so we're gonna turn to the dark arts and summon the devil. And it's an island called the Lazy Bones Island, which is really silly, but he is summoned. Also, what like we're talking about Kuma's like intentions. What the hell was he thinking?
You know what? Bones.
You know what? They need music, but they land and go, oh, I forgot about the Satanists, because he landed right on the summoning circle. Like he didn't land outside near. He was right. Like Kuma went, yo, this will be funny, and smacked a dude. And
in some cases, Kuma is settling bets that he made with people. It's like, this will be a really funny watch.
It's like, I'm out of ideas. This guy looks fun.
Bonesman Island, done.
Especially because
Kuma's literally like, I didn't meet this guy. More time for things. Hey, you know what?
Who are you again?
Especially because this isn't the island where Brooke's thing, quote unquote, Brooke's thing happens. Brooke helps settle this dispute between the residents of this cult and the Long Arm tribe, which are just 3 dudes that have an extra elbow in their arms. And it's an entire island of people that have that. And look at anybody with one elbow, like, you guys are freaks. But the thing that what we learn from this experience is Brooke similarly tries to be like Luffy and take the confidence that he's learned from his new captain. And the big plan was he wrote a score and he hands to these people and go, here's what I got. And they go,
song.
Talismans. And they start putting the paper up like it's a spell. And he's like, no, it took a really long time. I didn't number the pages. But he plays the music, which ends up strengthening their resolve somehow and gets them all united against the Long Arm tribe. And they capture them. And Brooke's like, no, dude, just release them. And before releasing them, he tries to put the fear of the devil into him by if you ever come back to this island, I will eat your heart, is what he tells them. And they go, okay. Because
whoa,
but they're not scared, and so they take Brooke away to make money off of him as a sideshow. One of the messages that I like, though, is he said, gods or devils won't help those who don't stand up for themselves. And that's kind of a nice, that's a nice sentiment, right?
Too real. It's too real. Come on, man. It's Monday. It's Monday evening. That's a little too real for me.
Too real for those Monday vibes. But while in captivity, Brooke got somehow the news coup landed.
Well, they had to line his cage.
Yeah, that's what it was. That was really good. Hold on. There you go. But Brooke, seeing that Luffy has given them more time, he's racking his brain, doesn't know what to do to help, and he's like, I've got to get my acute angles better. I can't trip when I'm trying to make these 40 degree angles. And was like, you know what? My mind's in the wrong place. And the thing, it's anime, and logic doesn't make any sense. We're also in the ocean, and it's whatever. We're in Magic Town. But he grabs an electric guitar with no visible amp and like just totally revs up and starts playing and starts gathering fans, in the sense of like he starts playing his music and people can't help but clap along or move along. And this movement with the song called Bone to be Wild starts Brooke on his journey of something that we'll find out when we return to Shippity Archipelago. And like Brooks was so weird, dude. Like, I can't.
He didn't decide to train. He's like, you know what? I'm gonna do my own thing.
Let me dust off this electric guitar I've been keeping in my ass. Like, what?
I like they're like, yeah, put him in a cage, but they don't pat him down. It's like, this guy's just, you guys didn't. Okay.
Or he's like, Felix
would probably hit different on an electric guitar.
Oh, probably. Yeah,
he doesn't need the power or the amp to run that electric guitar. We all know that, though.
Bing Sake is an encore. He brings everybody down, the lights lower. But that's what our Straw Hats are up to on this 2-year jaunt to become stronger before heading into the new world. Caden, do you have any predictions this episode?
Yeah, my predictions are that nothing that we learned here is ever going to pay off, apparently.
I'll never tell.
Al never tells.
I'll never tell.
I mean, one thing I know that was silly, but come on.
What?
Come on.
What?
Nothing here becoming of any use. Come on.
I never said that. I just said it was going to be important.
I mean, I'm going to get that sandwich, but...
Can you hear my eyebrows waggling? Because they're waggling.
Wow.
Were you about to say, I'm going to get that sandwich?
I already said it.
Okay.
I connected the dots. You didn't connect shit. I connected them.
The lore of Molly's sandwich, I just now understood.
Molly's sandwich lore. Next time, we're going to talk about the flashback that we got to see from Luffy's point of view as he was recovering all of his wounds from the battle at Marineford. But until then,
Marineford.
Drive tough.
Molly got mad at us when we kept saying
Marineford.
Ford last time, so
Marineford.
I don't know. I'm a different person now.
It's been a long winter.
I'm hungry. I'll let it go.
I thought you just ate a sandwich, Molly.
No, not yet.
So before Molly grabs her sandwich, let's share where everybody can find us online. And don't tune out. You listen to the whole thing. We're going to make it with your last till the end. Kaden, where can the folks find you on the interwebs?
the folks can find me on the internet all over the place. You can find me on Twitter. That's KDINJENZEN. You can find me on Tumblr. KDINJENZEN. You can find me on Twitch. KDINJENZEN. You can find me on Instagram. KDINJENZEN. You can find me on TikTok. It's TEHKDINJENZEN. No, wait, it's not. It's REAL KDINJENZEN. It's real Caden Jensen.
Whoa.
And I'm VTubing up on that Twitch. So I'm making my way downtown, walking past Faces Past, and I'm partner bound. So if you'd like to come and hang out on Twitch,
so good.
I'm making my way. So
I'm making waffles.
I'm playing lots of Pokemon, scary games, and all sorts of wild nonsense.
Who's the scariest Pokemon?
The scariest
Ghastly.
Pokemon? No, absolutely not.
Ghastly.
Do you want like power, or do you want like
No. Just as like a passing. Who's the scariest Pokemon?
Drifloon?
Ghastly.
It'll drag you up into space and then
No,
asphyxiate you. And
only
then
kids.
Al, where can the
frozen
folks
corpse
find
into
you
the
on
ground.
social media?
You can find me most places at Al McClellan Jr. That's ALMCCLELLANDJR. Twitter.
Good luck.
Instagram. Yeah, good luck, everybody.
You can find me on Twitter, Twitch, Instagram at Mark B. Donica. And how about you, Captain?
You can find me on Twitter at Teflod, TEHFLOD. You can find me on Tumblr, depending on what you're looking for. Molly Flood, Molly K Flood. And we have a Yayo Talk Show Tumblr, so come follow us on there.
Going along with how most arcs and sagas have ended, now that you've listened to the episode, you've joined our crew. With that comes the responsibility of telling your friends, leaving a comment, following us on Twitter and Twitch at Yayo Talk Show, and letting Caden watch the show in one piece. So come aboard, and we'll see you next time on Yayo Talk Show. Now, what are we going to do to make it worth their while?
I'm going to get a sandwich.
You going to get a sandwich?
Yeah.
What kind of sandwich?
I'm getting some nuggies delivered, so
Yeah.
Whoa. I'm gonna make a chicken pot pie like in the
chicken
croissant
pie sandwich.
Yeah, but like those croissants, those croissants that you can like roll up at home. Yeah. I'm gonna put the filling in those, so it's like a calzone sandwich.
Talking about One Piece.